like, oh, I think Echo Fox are way better than people give credit for. And in my mind, I was like, I feel like people are giving Echo Fox a lot of credit already. So I think Liquid are properly aware of the strengths of this team, and we'll see how it plays out on the Rift. These teams are 2 games apart, but Echo Fox have a lot of room to catch up with in the rest of the back half of the split. First ban comes through. Froggen not allowed to play LeBlanc, nor is the team allowed to play Kale.
Oh, so that's a scout move right there.
I mean, it's so interesting. I talked to Adrian about sort of his weird champion pool. He said, no, things that are strong in solo queue I think should always translate into competitive. Kale is one of those champions with a very high win rate in solo queue that we don't see much in competitive.
Froggen played some Kale back in the day, or it could be a KFO pick. But also the Kog'Maw and Kalista bans. It's interesting we're seeing those 2 bans, but people recognize the initiation and utility power of Kalista.
Sure.
And Kog'Maw is just bonkers right now, so unless you're willing to build your whole comp around it, or against it, just ban it.
Yeah. And Piglet's a player who very, very rarely dies, so getting onto that Kog'Maw is just always going to be difficult. Nidalee banned away, so really Echo Fox just banning like the 3 most highly sought after champions of this patch, and then saying, all right, your move, Liquid.
Yeah, it's kind of strange how the Nidalee progression went from being, oh, why is everyone picking Nidalee, to everyone being like, oh yeah, that's why.
No, you first pick it.
She farms so fast, and she will just outpace any other jungler. A lot of the earlier Nidalee players would go for these early ganks on her, but instead what people are doing now is just hard farming and just being way stronger and then going for ganks.
Well, look at this. We get Gragas coming through here. We saw Crumbs play it over in Game 1, but I don't believe we've seen a lot of Gragas since then here in North America. And we need to see if Dardoch will go for Runic Echoes or for Cinderhulk on that, because that is definitely a topic of contention. But Gragas in the jungle here for Team Liquid.
I think Sven Skarin played it as well. He went
you're
for
right.
the Runic Echoes route. I think Dardoch, being a fairly aggressive jungler that commands a lot of gold, will also go for Runic Echoes. Don't mind it as a first pick because it creates so many initiation opportunities and has very strong ganks early.
Though unfortunately, Gragas has not won any games yet in North America. Sample size of 2, not exactly the most sound here, but yeah, this is the 3rd game all today, actually. Corki and Lucian both picked up for Echo Fox, so Froggen will once again, his 3rd Corki game in a row since coming back into the lineup.
Yeah.
We'll see if he keeps that unkilled streak alive on it.
And we saw those redonkulous stats before, 9-0-17 on it last week with 97% kill participation. And Liquid decided to ban Kale instead of the Corki, knowing that Echo Fox would pick it in the first rotation.
Well, 6.3 Corki does 10 to 30 less damage based on rank of Phosphorus Bomb. It is a pretty meaningful nerf, honestly.
Yeah,
but
true.
Echo Fox seemed to be fine with it. As are most teams, Corki is still getting played a fair bit. Not quite to the same level he was in 6-2 and earlier, but yeah, teams still care a lot about this daring Bombardier. Poppy, Ezreal coming through here, getting another backline safe AD carry, and a great front line here with Liquid having both Poppy and Gragas.
Absolutely. Most likely the top lane Poppy. Very sparingly do we see it as a support. FeniX has been known to throw the Ezreal mid lane, but I expect that in Piglet's hands as well with the Iceborne Gauntlet. So not too much given away by these team comps as of yet, other than the fact that Corki's going, well, you could still do a Lucian top lane if you really wanted to.
I suppose. Froggen with the Dank and Nivea hover. Not that it's going to happen. He's already gotten a Corki picked for himself, but just hovering through the Freljord Triumvirate. If it's Ash, he knows his lore. Sorry, but Lissandra is the villain. There's actually 3 queens that run the Freljord, and that's not Lissandra. I'm sorry, buddy.
What are the 3
Ash,
Freljordian tribes?
Yeah. The Avarosans, I'm blanking the rest of them.
Even if you said 3 names, I probably couldn't have fact-checked you, but I'm glad.
But that's the one that Ash plays. She says for Avarosa all the time. So
I'm glad you lectured people on not knowing their lore.
And then
when
not
you
knowing the lore.
Did not know the lore.
Yeah. I actually have the Sejuani icon from the Freljord event, by the way, the double axes.
There you go.
Anyway, Elise comes through in the jungle. Braum on support as well. Another Freljord champion here for Echo Fox to, I don't know, keep some level of thematics here. But interestingly, just double marksman with a fairly well-rounded composition otherwise. Team Liquid now to make their last few choices here. They can go anywhere. They've got a safe AD carry in a front line, and anything slots into that.
It's true. And Echo Fox also doesn't need to stray too far away from what worked for them last week since they got their full roster back. It'll be interesting to see here what FeniX decides to pick into Corki, because it is a telegraphed matchup, and now it has been nerfed. So I would imagine that FeniX and Loco have a plan for it. They're just going to have to reveal it on this pick. The Syndra should be okay. As far as ability to burst out the Corki, and Corki doesn't like itemizing magic resist that early.
Yeah, we've seen some players will actually completely delay Triforce for a Hex Drinker. Sometimes they'll go for it. If he wants to go for that build, he can. But yes, Syndra, Ezreal, a lot of pick power on that one. And honestly, all three tanks that Liquid have ways of going in pretty hard. Gragas can set up the barrel combos. Poppy, one of the best flankers in League of Legends. And Alistar, we all know about him. Happy to be played here in League of Legends, despite the nerfs on his heal cooldown. Dropping it by, basically, you get 3/4 as many heals. And he seems to be fine to play the champion anyway. Echo Fox make the last choices, and I think I have to correct myself. Lissandra is actually one of the queens of the Freljord. It's Sejuani Ashe. It's Sejuani Ashe Lissandra. Anivia was a red herring for me. It made me miss track.
You best know your lore before you see it on screen.
He didn't click Ashe, so I'm still saying that he missed out.
So the Nautilus top lane is something we saw a ton of in the European LCS.
Yeah.
Actually, some Thunderlords decree top lane.
Really?
Nautilus.
I did not see that.
That was perplexing to me, but it created the burst a little bit. They could trade a little bit harder in lane. I was expecting like Grasp or Strength or Bond.
I think Grasp is much better.
Any of those things, but nope.
All right, so Echo Fox had some very good Malphite games out of KFO last week. The champion was available to be picked, and he says, no, I'd rather go for Nautilus anyway. So another big tank in the top lane for Echo Fox's Korean top laner here. The rest of the team have done a good job of synergizing with him despite the language barrier, and 2 wins in a row is not bad. Team Liquid, though, relying on FeniX and Piglet for the carry.
Yeah, I do like the Nautilus top lane here instead of the Malphite. I think if he goes in on Malphite, it's very easy for Gragas to just ult back the rest of his team to invalidate the follow-up and get himself killed. Whereas Nautilus can, you know, pull someone a little bit towards him or just have the telegraph knock-up and they can stay more grouped as a team, which I think is solid.
All right, so definitely some engaged powers are here for Echo Fox. We'll see if they can make that one happen, as the coaches are happy to shake their hands and move off. 2 former AD carries now turned coaches, Lokodoko and Cop. Hopefully, in their minds, leading their squads to victory. We'll see if they can do it. You guys at home, let us know who it's going to be. Tweet at eSports, hashtag TLWin, or hashtag FOXWin for Liquid or Echo Fox here in this one. Liquid still holding on to that 6th place spot in the playoffs, but it can easily go either way here. Echo Fox, 2 games in a row. Now that Froggen and KFO are back in, they can keep this going upwards. This is the true test of our Echo Fox, a playoff caliber team. And here we go.
And early on, they do not stray far from their formula since they got Froggen and KFO back. Froggen is on the same champion, and KFO is just on a slightly different tank. The big question for me here is how much will Dardoch impact this game on his Gragas early, which was the first pick by Team Liquid in this draft.
Definitely something to watch for. I'm always curious how people build the champions, and we've got 5 CDR and 19 ability power on Dardoch's Gragas here. So
30 seconds until minions.
Yeah, 3 ability power glyphs, 6 cooldown glyphs, and then a bunch of AP quints would be my guess for how he did that. It's weird seeing junglers like get 5 CDR as though like it's like a really relevant stat, but it's actually pretty frequent that we see that happen just for the slight hastening of the clear speed.
It's true. I think it's an old habit back when you could actually
get 10 flat, you get the old masteries. Yeah.
But you cannot anymore. You still get 5% though.
Yeah,
it's a number
not bad.
people are comfortable with.
Minions have spawned.
Yeah,
I would rather just go 7.5%.
I agree.
Or do that per level at this point, but
yeah.
Dardoch wants that 5% early
Wants
power.
that 5% flat. He's going to move on with his life with that one. Keith spamming some of his key bindings, making his guns make noises. Matt and Piglet will be matching up against that lane 2-on-2 as both duo lanes will start on their respective jungles. And similarly, both top laners will leash for their junglers, so both sides of the map are allowed to start with an early camp. Piglet and Matt will share this XP and gold. We'd seen for a while some players would actually donate the full XP value to the support if they had like a really good level 2 power spike like an Alistar or a Thresh. That's kind of stopped being a thing, and I sort of miss it. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, and it's a big surprise too, because if you don't have Smite, you don't actually get the level 2 when you get Braum. So it's first minion dies and then surprise, level 2, the guy just skills up both spells. But could have been a thing they do in this game. They choose not to. Both hitting level 2 is also a big surprise.
Keith flashes right away because Matt went for the combo, but they get the stun right back onto the Alistar. And look at that big, nice sideways shield to block Piglet's damage. Proper cast there, but they don't burn any summoners for Keith losing his flash.
Yeah, that's actually pretty big, especially when you have a Gragas on the other side who can body slam flash to secure a kill. Keith's going to have to be very careful now in the lane. They hit level 2 at the same time. I think Keith and Big really wanted to do that. I don't know if Keith thought he was going to hit level 2 as he was flashing away. They tried to turn some aggression backwards, but that's still a very favorable trade for Team Liquid. Matt can just blow through his potions, but Keith can't drink potions to bring his flash back.
No, he can't, but he at least will sustain his health back to a decent level. Him now having the E, Matt can always go for a pulverized flash, and if he's in range, he cannot dodge that really in any easy way. He has to guess that it's happening and quick draw backwards, and that'll be hard. Well, it's pursuit, not quick draw, but you know what I mean. He presses E and he dashes. Basically the same skill.
Hard was also on the screen when you said it, so you'd be like, oh, that'll be hard. Clearing.
Yeah, of course, that was totally intentional, Jatt. Thank you for the call out. Thunderlord's triggered onto Big. Interesting, Ezreals can go back and forth whether they do that one or Fervor, but that was the choice. Keith has to be real careful. Matt can pin him against the wall, but they don't go for the fight just yet.
Yeah, level 3 to level 2, they actually be very careful.
Dardoch, he's trying to find Hard.
Away. This is the same invade that Crumbs tried to do, but Hard has actually been able to clear it, whereas Reignover is just finishing.
And he actually, other than knowing that these camps are cleared, yeah, here he goes, and he smites it. And because it did the I'm on the way ping, they know there's a jungler on that side of the map. So Team Liquid actually know where Elise is. Whether they spotted him or not, they actually know Elise is there.
Yeah,
okay, now they definitely know he's there because the Wolfgris on him, but it pings to let you know someone's in the jungle.
It's a little dangerous for him to go and get the Elise, though, because his bottom lane was not willing to go help with the invade. It wouldn't have been worth it either.
No, you don't 3v3 under a turret like that.
Yep.
But if Hard weren't there, that could have been a turret dive in the making, and Keith could have died. So Hard was on the correct spot in the correct time to keep his bot lane afloat there. You see the farm trading pretty close to equal. In fact, Keith holding a small minion lead. Yes, that flash is down, but he's got 3 minutes till it's back, and otherwise up 3 minions here.
Yeah, I'm also interested in the mid lane matchup here with Froggen going up against FeniX, because Froggen has been so dominant on the Corki thus far. And early on in the lane, Corki really doesn't want to get ganked because he can shove the lane so easily with Phos Bomb and trades. Even with the damage that was taken off Phosphorus Bomb in the patch, it doesn't affect him that much early on as far as the trades here against Syndra. So, very good job by Froggen so far.
Super solid.
Even if FeniX picks up all 5 of these CS, it's still going to be an advantage for Froggen.
Well played to the Corki player. Another Danish mid laner, typical. They're very good at League of Legends. Solid play by FeniX here, trying to knock him back there, but +3 CS as the wave dies down. Keith takes a Mystic shot to the face, but even though they're against a more sustain-heavy bottom lane, it's actually EchoFox with a potion lead down here. Matt is out of pots already. Keith still has his. And Big still's got a couple left as well. So I gotta say, EchoFox, by a small margin, winning the bottom lane, by a small margin, winning the mid lane as well, and even KFO is currently ahead of Lourlo.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by the decision-making by Dardoch very early on in this game, knowing that the flash was down from Keith and then instead going for a jungle invade, instead of just looping around and going for a brute force gank onto Keith, because I think that would have had a very high success rate. Instead, Keith has actually, as you said, been able to pull the lane back, and the counter jungling gives Dardoch a slight experience advantage over Hard, but no big lane advantages.
Look at the play right here. Flash Cocoon off on the wings. FeniX, wow, bursted, and he eased the wrong way. Flash chased by Froggen, and exhaust to make sure the ignite is on, though Froggen could die. He might just burn to death, and he will, in fact. FeniX does get the trade kill and gets XP for it, crucially, because he got the last hit. Still advantage EchoFox.
Wow, yeah, so first blood and the assist gives them more gold, but a nice return kill by FeniX.
Crucial flash by KFO. If he had gotten tackled back in by Lourlo, that would have likely been the kill. Thanks to a Dardoch body slam. KFO still missing the flash, of course, is a big deal. But EchoFox can hold on to this lead for now.
Yeah, KFO just farming up on top with Lourlo, and once again, another flash down. We'll see if it ends up getting punished by Dardoch. He's been able to save his flash, and that is the bread and butter of the Gragas. If you can burn a flash and someone doesn't have flash, when you do, it's a kill.
Yes.
Because you just get the body slam for free as soon as they see you, and the range is so extensive. That's, I think, why he first picked it. So I want to see him go mid or top for either one of these kills. It's going to be a little harder to kill a Nautilus, obviously, and still kind of tricky to kill a Corki. But now that he's level 6, he can do the body slam ult back.
Yeah.
I think he should be going for a Froggen kill short.
And of course, body slam flash can override a Valkyrie, right? You'll knock him right out of that travel. So unless Froggen has the package, which won't even spawn for another minute here, yeah, that route into the mid lane is totally available. We'll see if it happens. FeniX level 6 has stuns in his own inventory, in his spell book, I should say. And yeah, I want to see how safe Froggen really plays, because if he ever can't see Gragas, that threat is always real. Now, there are a couple of deep wards that you can see. The left side of the jungle has a pink and a green ward put down by, I assume, Hard. That helps track what Dardoch is up to, and Froggen knows that he is safe because of this.
Yep, good ward. Not found by Dardoch or FeniX during that blue trade.
And either way, they can infer the location of where that Gragas is because of the blue buff going to FeniX. So, Dardoch, known to be on the left side of the map right here. Team can play accordingly.
Also want to point out that Froggen's Hex Drinker is a good buy in this situation. Corki players don't like to have to delay their Trinity Force, but against a champion like Syndra, especially with gank assistance from the Gragas, it may save his life.
Against Syndra, it's the right
Very
choice
important.
for sure. And he even goes Phage Sect. You can see the Ruby Crystal picked up alongside the Longsword. Sheen is likely when you're ahead, but yeah, in a situation like this, much harder to do. Bomby Cinder picked up here by both these top laners, which I think is actually very good first buy.
There we go. That's the Nautilus keystone I was expecting.
Yeah. Azael was telling me about how Bomby Cinder is a really good first buy on Grasp of the Undying champions because you can keep it in range of 1 minion to stay in combat, which will tick your Grasp cooldown to be available if you can trade with it really frequently. Hard pushing Dardoch around the jungle, but does not burn a summoner for it. You just get the body slam over to the Krugs to stay safe. Dardoch with the red buff. Actually lost it.
Big also had Strength of Ages, just like in last game where Aframo did as well. So another support going that route. Definitely feels like Strength of Ages has been creeping up to be more and more important. We're like, you know, all these cool effects like Deathfire Grasp and all this math and stuff. No, 300 health.
Yeah.
300 health is good.
Real good.
It has good gold value. It is good. So more people do.
I hear it's good, Jatt.
Yeah, specifically on a jungler, but also on supports.
Also on supports. Froggen burning the package to actually knock down the blue buff faster, I believe. That was going to cool out anyway, so sure, he picks that one up here. FeniX taking away some parts of the Raptor camp. That 4 CS is not worth nearly as much gold as you might think, but at least he gets a pad of stats. Nice flash pulverize headbutt in. Oh my god, Keith under fire and in fact burns down. Good ignite. Piglet gets the kill. Big force right away. Did not get the ulti off in time to keep his teammate alive, nor did he burn the exhaust. Maybe more that Big could have done, but either way, great setup by Matt.
Yeah, that was the buffered pulverized flash. So it was an instant knockup as soon as his flash completed onto Keith. He got the headbutt backwards as well. Dardoch actually didn't even get the stun from his body slam flash when he was entering that fight. So kind of a missed opportunity here from Team Liquid because Piglet and Matt pulled off that gank so well just on their own. Also, a teleport was channeled by Lourlo, which didn't have any long-lasting implications as well. This is actually something they probably didn't even need help with. They hit him back into the turret, and they could have just done a 2v2 there, but they actually invest 4 people's time and summoner spells to get that. So it's one of those weird situations where it was actually a good play for Team Liquid for 2 of them, but they didn't even need Dardoch and Lourlo to help.
They might have needed his damage just because Keith had the ult, like Big had the ulti afterwards. It would have been close, to be very fair. Dardoch actually saves his ultimate regardless, so I guess he's got that cooldown still up, and we'll see what's next here for Team Liquid. But hey, 2-1 is the scoreboard here for TL. Props to them. Again, the mid lane was a 1-for-1. FeniX got back onto Froggen after the first blood, and there was a big play made by Dardoch into the bottom lane. 2 flashes used, but they get the kill for it. And now Echo Fox slightly behind in gold. Keith has to be safe again because Matt is coming in. A crucial slow comes out of Big. If that Q did not land, Matt got in.
Yeah, and no flash as well to close down on Keith, but the idea was right for Team Liquid to go for that gank, even though it still doesn't go through. And Phreak, we were excited about this game. The gold is even.
The gold is even. It's a really nice game right here. And even equal lanes, the farms going back and forth, ±3 in the mid lane is fine. AD carries pretty close. KFO, despite losing his flash to a nice gank from Lourlo and Dardoch combined, still winning that top lane.
Yeah, and a big thing here is the teleport advantage from Fox. There's also a ward in the bottom lane that could cut off Matt and Piglet. Really critical that Matt saved his ultimate right there, and Piglet is very slippery as the Ezreal, which is why I don't think we've seen that teleport yet. But they're pinging the ward. They're wondering when KFO can come in. KFO is currently engaged in a fight top lane. I think they're going to try and loop the jungler around to get a 4-man. And now finally, Team Liquid does back away. You know, they don't know the ward is there, but they have to be open to the possibility of the play.
So the team just plays safely. Dardoch, good smite by Hard, gets it away. And yeah, 3 little Raptors, not worth nearly as much as the big one. KFO in a battle with Lourlo yet again. 10 CS, the difference between these 2 teams. Grasp the Undying continues to heal them back and forth as they deal damage. Wall stun just barely misses. KFO slightly winning the fight now. Corrupting Potions, Bomby Cinders, and Grasp the Undying slowly ticking health bars down and up over time. KFO once again saying, can I fight you? The shield is on, of course. Lourlo wants to trade with the shield on. Takes very little damage. Yet again they battle, and KFO ends it at full health.
The joy of Nautilus top lane. His mana's running pretty low right here, though.
Yeah.
So I think he's just trying to shove this up to go back. He can clear faster than the Poppy here. And I hope he goes for the banner Xerath portal build.
Oh, man.
It's possible against a lot of melee matchups. I haven't necessarily seen it much against Poppy, but I think with the way the lane is going, the fact that he's pretty farmed already, I think you could still not get pushed in and get away with having those two really strong pushing items. So I hope to see that. Chain Vest can turn into a Raptor Cloak, which builds into his Xerath portal. And the Health Crystal could turn into a banner command. So he has the components to do so without suffering anything.
He could just stop on Bombies and not go all the way to Sunfire Cape. We'll see which way that build goes into. As he's going back to base right now. Moment of truth, KFO.
Come on, man.
What's it going to be? Sunfire Cape. Woo. He believes in Shurima.
Well, he can still do the next item.
He's still, no, of course.
Just a little slower. The Sunfire Cape actually got a pretty big buff as well.
Yeah.
So do not fault him for that. It increases his pushing power, which is where he was already having his advantage over Lourlo. Sunfire Cape now doing more damage to minions.
Meanwhile, look what Lourlo's got. Chain Vest and a Negatron Cloak. And that's not going into Abyssal Scepter. Yeah?
Yeah, that's his Xerath portal.
Yeah, it is. Lourlo.
Hey, there it is. All right.
Lourlo bringing the Void power. The Void versus Shurima in the top lane. Sunfire Cape versus Xerath portal. Nice dodge by Froggen. Sees the aquatic ball coming in. Gets the heck out of there. FeniX will not land the stun. As the mid laners continue to trade pretty much equal. Morello Namicon versus Hex Shrinker in parts of a Trinity Force. Frog continues to just wail away in that lane. AD carries staying close. Top laners, again, that same small lead for KFO. So we watch then what the junglers are up to. Dardoch did, in fact, go Runic Echoes. And it's the Elise that went Cinder Hulk, actually. If you were to tell me this a year ago, I would have laughed at you. But no, it's Gragas building AP, the Elise building tank. Hard will be able to solo the Scuttler. Not nearly as fast as Smithy, but that's okay. Gets a buff.
We're going to have a really tanky team on Echo Fox's side, and I don't mind the Elise going Cinder Hulk against a Syndra specifically, just so he can't get bursted down in the duration of a stun. And I'm sorry to those people that watch like a ton of League and have seen Xerath portal a bunch, and we've actually explained it a lot because every analyst who sees Xerath portal is like, I have to talk about the Xerath portal. This is my first Xerath portal game.
Okay.
So I do want to talk about the pushing power it has, especially when combined with Banner, and how it can actually be used to stall the wave. And it's specifically good because when he puts it down, KFO doesn't have a way of really going to kill it. Even if he put it in the middle of the lane, it would take so much time for a Nautilus to finish off the Xerath portal. The Lourlo would be able to get a teleport off without losing lane pressure. But Lourlo actually put it back in the lane, so it's not really doing that much, and KFO is neutralizing it currently with Sunfire Cape.
Yeah, the minions actually lose % current health every second, and so the farther away you place it, the more injured those voids spawn get, the less well they push. Lourlo putting it in a very safe place means they're going to be very injured if they're ever halfway across the lane, but as it stands, it does keep the lane pushed at least a little bit here. KFO just kind of trading equally, Sunfire Cape versus Voidling minions. And worth pointing out that when the Void spawn kill a minion, you get the gold. You do not get the XP, nor does it trigger Strength of Ages. You actually don't kill it, you just get the gold. It killed it. So in case that ever matters, you can actually miss out on stacking Strength of Ages via that. KFL kills away a pink ward. He is still the one pushing faster thanks to Sunfire Cape doing that much more damage here. And we still have a very equal game. As the only real major pickups have been the fact that a Rift Herald got picked up by Hard. And otherwise, they're just looking for cocoons and not finding them. Of course, Team Liquid's still stacking up. Piglet had finished Mana Mune very early on. He actually got that before Sheen. So he can trigger that very easily by just auto-attacking, getting the mana up in. He's still just farming up as fast as possible.
He's at 440 out of 750 before he turns that into a more mana. These lanes going... These are the standard lanes, but we're not seeing incredibly aggressive ganks. Hard and Dardoch are giving each other a lot of counter-gank respect thus far.
But by Matt, Keith knowing to respect some of the damage actually makes Matt burn the ulti for casting his own. Piglet wants back in though, thinking, hey, you know we can do the damage. There's a TP flank coming in. Dardoch's there as well. Big ult to try to get him away. And here comes everyone else. Lourlo into the back lines, dives the turret, gets the kill, just like old Pop. He can ignore turrets and kill people by herself. Now the ulti comes in from KFO, but there's just no damage to follow up right here. Locked up, nice ulti back by Dardoch, who saved the cooldown. But now Lourlo on the wrong side of the map had to come back through the jungle, gets picked off by Froggen, Hard, and co. It's a 1-for-1. Everyone else walks away.
Yeah, two fights actually ended up erupting at the same time after the initial Keith dive happened because Lourlo had gone past the turret, and then KFO, even though he looked like, well, he's so foolish, he's going for Piglet, he was really stalling so that the rest of the team could kill Lourlo. I think that would have been that was a bit of a miscommunication. Nautilus not just going for the guy as well, but it ended up being okay because he is so tanky on the Nautilus. Standard lanes, KFO has actually been playing a fairly lane-dominant style with the Sunfire kit.
Yeah.
Instead of going for the banner Zerat rush, which is more of a split push, join your team style. So when he does actually join the team, he's really, really tanky.
And it works beautifully for him, so KFO continues to do quite well. Picks up a second Chain Vest for himself now, which maybe he goes into the item. We're just going to keep doing it. Could be Thornmail as well, of course. We're going to keep looking.
Yeah. I'm actually a little confused by why Fox went so hard here because there's still no eyes on Dardoch, and it's been a while since Dardoch has ganked, so he would have a Body Slam flash available. As soon as Matt lands the Pulverize, it's on. Again, Dardoch doesn't actually utilize his flash optimally. He flashes early just to get in range of the barrel. Yes, Lourlo was able to get the kill on the backside, but then KFO comes in, essentially zones everyone else off from Team Liquid, who could have gone and helped Lourlo. And nice juke there on hard with his repel onto the Poppy ultimate. They finish off Lourlo while KFO was able to stall just long enough.
Yeah, he 1v3'd and tanked a Gragas ulti and still walked away with not too many injuries, really. Armor still intact. The Nautilus, who's 40 CS up. Can't feel too bad about that one right here. Probably continue to clear the jungle as best he can, but trading that pretty equally against Dardoch. Echo Fox and Team Liquid still the same gold.
Yeah, and how long it took KFO to die there is kind of a preview for the rest of the game here if you're Team Liquid. Piglet is going for an Iceborne Gauntlet Ezreal, which is slower kills than normal. It's still very powerful and probably the best way to build Ezreal, but you're not bursting people out quickly.
Right.
Then you also have a tank Elise who's going to be on this team. Braum is going to be very tanky, and Syndra's some AoE, but mostly single target. It's going to be very hard for Team Liquid to kill everyone, and if they do, they will be long, drawn-out fights.
Guess what Heart's flying?
Oh, he has a Raptor Cloak. Probably an Omewrecker.
Yeah, I think
Omewrecker.
I mean, it does build from Ruby Crystal as well, so you can go up into you know, that item if it goes from Kindle Gem.
They should go double Zerat Portal, put one in 2 different lanes. Why not just get as many Zerat Portals and Banner of Command minions as possible to make the split pushing even more devastating?
So we're going to see how many minions both these teams can spawn right here. KFO once again in battle with Lourlo. Voidlings, of course, do ignore champions, so we can just walk right by those and keep trading on. Dardoch getting slowed down by Big. Hard is around as well, but this could be a bit of a 4v3, actually. Keith and Froggen on the bottom side of the map right here as Syndra's coming up. So all of Liquid are on the top side right here. Piglet burns the ulti to try to clear a wave away to make his turrets live as long as possible. Top lane outer goes down. Well played, Keith. Should be able to stay. He knows where every single person the other team is. This will be a turret trade.
He should be able to, but the question is, should he stay? Should he have recalled? It's definitely smart that he finishes that off, but now Team Liquid trying to push on the other side. The minions are gone. The KFO wave clear is very real.
KFO wave clear is right. Hey, he's tanky enough and just burns them down with Riptide and Sunfire Cape. And he's going to be just fine with that one. Froggen held the mid lane against FeniX there, and hey, Echo Fox held a 3v4 in the top lane without any major damage to the turret. They were able to trade their own outer turret kill, despite Liquid being the one that sort of made the aggressive move and grouped up for it. Echo Fox trade equally. Game still very tight right here. A small lead for Liquid right now that I believe can be answered shortly. Billion outer under a bit of fire. Keith has been pulled into this lane. And he will be defending this as looks like Froggen wants to back.
Yeah, and as we see a slight lull here, we've talked about Zerat Portal and its ability to spawn minions, but I think the most underrated item in the game is Raptor Cloak. I think this item has been overpowered for over a year. When you are near turrets or dead turrets, as you're getting closer to them, you get up to 20% more move speed.
Which is a lot.
Luden's Echo is 10%, and that item is just like, wow, guys are flying around the map way faster. Raptor Cloak is just over 1,000 gold item and gives you 20% move speed near turrets. I've been building it on Udyr forever. Now that other people are doing it, it's suddenly going to nerf the champion. What's up with that? But in this game, they have 2 of them, and that means when they are doing extended fights in long lanes, they are going to be so fast. And that is the most underrated part of Zerat Portal and Raptor Cloak in general.
It also gives 150% base health regen.
It's really
It gives you, like, ridiculous regen. All right, so Voidlings versus Voidlings. Here we go. Zerat Portal's put down in this right-hand side by both top laners there. KFO did pick one up after all. They also ignore each other, by the way, so they'll just kind of cross paths and fight minions over and over again, but those can do battle, and the wave will stay close to equal.
We could see a fight here if KFO wants to pull the trigger. Echo Fox is playing the long con.
Yes, they are. And I'm curious, actually, figuring out who has the better late game, actually. If Runic Echoes is your only AP item, eventually that damage starts to matter less as people get tankier and your AP doesn't grow. So as far as Dardoch's burstiness is concerned, that falls off, but Hard has percent bonus health from getting a Cinder Hope. That theoretically goes higher, actually. Late game-wise, I'm pretty sure that item means more.
Yep, really late game, I would agree.
Yeah, both have, actually only one team has a crit building marksman, and that's Keith. Actually, Froggen will have 2 crit items, actually. Advantage is pretty standard for Corki here, so persistent damage-wise, I think Echo Fox are also quite a bit higher.
Yeah, I think it's one of the reasons they're so content just playing out this laning phase for a long time. That's also why Team Liquid is looking to push now, because they have the Iceborne Gauntlet, they have 3 items completed on a FeniX, and they have a low mid lane turret. So they're looking to force Echo Fox into a fight while Team Liquid is ahead, or they're just going to look to take the easy turrets.
This could be an easy turret right there. Look at that. Echo Fox not ready to defend, despite it being a 4 versus 4. They back right off, give the control away, and Liquid now up about 2,000 gold as a result of their efforts here. Now into the jungle they go, trying to get the wards down, trying to sweep everything away they can, steal what camps. And looks like Dardoch is the one who smited the wolf, at least first, to get the buff. And that means the Spirit will continue to track that side of the jungle against Echo Fox. Echo Fox, though, returning into the mid lane here, and they are not quite zoning TL away. They don't even threaten FeniX, who is alone wave clearing. That actually looked diveable. Instead, they go in towards Dragon. Get nothing for it. I actually think they could have killed FeniX, or at least burned his flash with a ulti from Nautilus.
Yeah, but once again, they're just kind of trying to draw them more into the Dragon. Or force Lourlo's teleport down here. They're playing it very close to the chest jar. I'm hoping the KFO goes for initiation soon.
Ezel misses everything, but here comes the stun in. He pushes in Froggen, puts a flash away. Poppy into the front lines as well, but they keep trading. Battles back and forth. Keith is now safe, but look at that damage on a FeniX. The Sin has been picked off. Dardoch dangerously low as well. The tank line still holds, but Lourlo running the back line, throws the buckler, can't get the damage, and actually will not kill off Keith. Echo Fox only lose 1, they kill 2 off Liquid.
And like we said, these fights are going to be brawls. There's a lot of tanks and not a huge amount of damage that's going through here. And the Dragon was actually participating pretty heavily in that fight. He probably did more damage than some of the champions in this fight, but even so, what a close battle, and I think we're going to be seeing more of that. Big props to Echo Fox for forcing the teleport, absorbing the teleport as well, and still getting more kills plus the Dragon.
So teleport advantage, kill advantage, Dragon for themselves as well. We can watch that fight one more time. As Matt tries to set up on a Froggen, who's able to flash away.
Yeah, Keith was zoned out by Lourlo, but he decided to go a little fast. And the Nautilus ultimate actually hits through all of Team Liquid. And now it's all about how much can KFO stall with his 280 CS on Nautilus versus how much can Lourlo stall against Keith and the rest of the team. It's really just 2 super tanks trying to dive through. Lourlo doesn't finish a kill on his side. KFO does die on the other side,
yeah.
But because they're able to focus Syndra at the start, it's a 2-for-1.
Yeah, Syndra got killed right at the start. Both top laners did die. A clutch exhaust at the very end by Big kept the buckler toss from killing Keith.
Oh, man.
So that was super close. FeniX brings the wolf to help kill the blue buff. Yeah, that'll work. And that will be blue buff dropping. Did you know when Syndra throws red or blue buff with W, she actually has minor buffs to that throw of the spell? If you throw the W, it like is a 1 second. If you throw a blue buff, it has like a 1 second shorter cooldown. If you throw a red buff, it like burns things it hits.
I actually did know that.
Yep.
But thank you.
Yeah. I'm glad the answer was yes.
I was actually on like the Syndra pod for playtesting back when the champion was being made. So that was I was in the development phase of that.
Really part of your job knowing that one, yeah. I'm glad we got a did you know that we could actually both agree on? Instead of me like floundering around and failing most of the time.
Did you know? I'm not sure.
Yeah,
But
I've had a really bad hit rate on Did You Knows. I'm really sorry about that, guys. I'm normally way better at this. Don't worry, I'll pull up something obscure for next tomorrow's show, and it'll blow your mind.
All right, sure.
Sure.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. I wouldn't even be casting with you. But it's okay. Back into this game, though, Echo Fox 4-4 in kills. Team Liquid, though, are the team with the lead. They've had a better job of controlling the map. They've got 3 turrets to 1. Yes, they're down 2 dragons, but that's not taking up all that fast. I don't think Liquid have to be that afraid of what the dragon buffs are doing. Lourlo once again battling with KFO. Voidlings running back and forth, crossing paths. They ignore champions as well as other Void spawn.
Yeah, and it's
really
so
not much to do.
hard for these guys to hit each other's Zerat portals because they have a lot of health, actually. The Lourlo Zerat portal is at 1,000, as is KFO's.
Yeah, they're hard to kill. And you can't crit them. They count as buildings, much like turrets. So Even Marksmen aren't the best at killing them off. Did you know that Graves' Buckshot does not hit more than 1 bullet on his rot portal?
No, I didn't.
I'm actually not sure that's true.
Exactly. That's why we can't work with those.
No, I didn't even mean to like troll with that, but like I know Mrs. Ward's doing that, but I'm pretty sure Mrs. Rot portals too. Actually, I'm almost certain that's true. I'm almost certain that's true.
We got to stop this, man.
I know. I'm really sorry. I don't mean to be bringing it off topic.
327 CS for KFO. He's getting extra credit for the Zerah portal guys.
They count.
But that's going to be an
Uh-oh, Froggen. Ooh, that was clutch. He does become immune to knockbacks. We'll use the package. Does get away. Lourlo in the front lines. Dardoch around as well. The knockup goes into FeniX. Can they force down the Syndra? No, she kites back safely. Meanwhile, Lourlo did kill off Keith. So Marksman missing now for Echo Fox. And now KFO is isolated 5 versus 3 with the rest of this one. Echo Fox have to run. Piglet misses another true shot barrage, but still a 2 for 0. Great for Team Liquid.
Yeah, Lourlo did a lot of work in that fight, getting straight onto Keith and blowing him up. I'm not sure if Keith actually had his heal to stall more time, but he dies and now his heal is up. So we're going to be able to see that in the replay, and they turn straight for Baron. Still a little bit risky. Froggen can poke with missiles, and Team Liquid is low. They're
really low. You've got to be real afraid of this one. A flash body slam comes in. Dardoch gets some damage, but doesn't get anyone into the fight. Froggen dangerously low. Hex Trigger pop big, also almost dead. He's buying some time. Lourlo's going to pick up that kill. 3 kills in total now for Team Liquid as a result of all this fighting, but they will not get Baron. Echo Fox will run away while getting chased.
I think the plan the whole time there for Team Liquid was to bait the fight because Dardoch had flash and all up. Lourlo's going for the move speed.
Where's the Valkyrie? Has to cast it that way because he's going to get cut off by Alistar. Gets plenty of damage on Lourlo thanks to the Valkyrie damage. Matt is still on the way over. Froggen, will he turn it? Nice turn away by Matt. Stays alive. Got the heal on Lourlo, get the assist anyway. Well played by all of Team Liquid. A 4-kill trade, actually, all said and done. Great job, Liquid.
Yeah, buckler to the face at the very end. And just a long, extended fight there where they were able to come out on top. It all started, though, with the attempted initiate onto Piglet, but the counter teleport comes in from Lourlo, and KFO comes in as well, but he's a little bit later. And just look at the work Lourlo does on Keith. Gets the wall stun, hits him with a bunch of damage. Pretty much just Lourlo soloing Keith amongst the whole team.
Yeah, just kept chaining everything together, and KFO just couldn't hold the front line long enough. Echo Fox not able to really use the package slow. They all tried to go forward right after Froggen had just packaged out, special deliveried out of the fight, and wasn't there to deal the damage when KFO got the knockup on a Syndra, and they weren't really even there to peel the Lucian that well.
Yeah, and also as far as the doubles rot portal, Echo Fox has never had the position on the map to really take advantage of the split push, and they also haven't given themselves any banner of command minions.
Yeah.
They didn't do the full combo. They're pretty much just building these things to be annoying and give them move speed near turrets, but I think the combination of the banner minion plus the Zerah portal is where you really see the true power, so they're not, I don't think they're actively getting everything they could.
Yeah, and right now it's both top laners and both junglers who have built Zerah here for themselves. Double Deadman's plate here on the Echo Fox side, so they can certainly run really fast. They can try to get these picks, but these minions are being traded fairly equally here. The lane's staying pushed. It's kind of interesting to see how their builds are progressing, but you push on towards the next phase here. Baron being started again.
Yeah, Froggen was down on the bottom side of the map, and Team Liquid is looking to burn through this Baron pretty quickly. Echo Fox looking to stop, though.
And here we go, damage on the mat. There's the knockup, hits 2 from Braum, and the disengage off of Baron, who is hitting the back line of Team Liquid. FeniX down to only half HP. That's not good on Syndra, who's got no flash. She's immobile. She can be killed. And they're going to just settle for blue buff here. Picked up safely, but of course Echo Fox now first to the mid lane, off of pushing Liquid away.
Yeah, I think that Baron's going to cost them the mid lane turret. They were not willing to go for a smite trade, and they also did the safe disengage off instead of trying to go hard in with a Gragas ultimate. I do actually have to credit Big in this game. He's had a lot of shields that stopped Dardoch from being able to hit people back with the Gragas ultimate. So there have been a few opportunities where he could have gotten it, but most of them are because Big is blocking.
This is dangerous. Dragon number 3 for Echo Fox. They will get it, but here comes the re-engage. Goes in for KFO. Not the best target for Lourlo. Matt also injured. I believe he's missing the ultimate, so he goes down right away on Alistar. That is not a taking down. And the knockup on a FeniX. The flash route for KFO. That's a 2 for 0, and they can continue. KFO is tanky. He wants it. A Dardoch cocoon landed from hard. Piglet on one side, but he's not going to stop this. A great anchor toss by KFO means that's 3 kills off the third dragon. And now, what is the pick for Echo Fox? The 5 versus 2. Right now, it's mid lane tier 2, but Baron is up, as is an inhibitor turret.
It's all a snowball effect off the attempted dragon from Team Liquid, where they burned too many ultimates and got caught out. So it's taking a dragon, it's the third. And now they're going for the mid lane turret.
Okay, they are going to go for this extra turret right here. Another tree shot barrage comes across, and look at that, it's too much damage. Hard's on the wrong side. He had to flash to get away. A miscommunication. Echo Fox butting up more than they could chew, tried to take a turret. They've pinged onto Baron, but they've taken so much damage, they have to walk away and heal up in time to not lose out. Piglet nearly killing him off. Lourlo actually might do so onto KFO. He's got the shields, he puts the portal down. Whoa! Piglet picked off in the backside. Keith and Froggen make that happen. Finding the trade back into KFO, but I'll take AD carry for top laner any time of the week.
Wow, this game got a little bit crazy. I want to see how Piglet got picked off by Froggen and Keith. It looks like Froggen just flashed on him. Probably a package gang.
Flash exhaust.
Yeah, he's
going to lock him down.
Exhaust. He did a lot to try and kill Piglet. Overall, a missed opportunity, I think, from Echo Fox. When they killed 3,
yeah.
I think they could have turned straight to Baron and then worried about the turrets later with their really massive tank line. So we're going to see the Dragon fight here. And Matt was playing as if he had ultimate when he really did not have it.
He's never been stunned anyone. He's walking back and forth getting chunked.
Really low, gets probably not a synchro. And at this point, there's no front line for Team Liquid. Dardoch throws out the Gragas ultimate, but it actually knocks KFO closer to his intended target on FeniX. And here the damage is just not enough. Iceborne Gauntlet is good for kiting, but without the combined power of Syndra to deal damage, it is going to continue to chase down on the Dardoch, and that's how Echo Fox picks up 3 kills for 0. Here's where I think they should have gone straight for Baron. Instead, they got 1 turret, half another one, and traded kills between top laner.
All right, so that was the trade right there. And we're going to see what's next up. Randuin's Omen going to be picked up for KFO as the next item here. Of course, that is an item that got some buffs in the previous patch. And even though he's only against like 1 auto attacker here in the Ezreal, there's a lot of stats on the item now, and in fact, now he has access to another AoE slow after Riptide to just keep people in place. And KFO's Randuin's Omen will be pretty useful, I should say. We can watch the back half of that. Yeah, so Piglet arcane shifted forward.
Yeah,
Valkyrie exhaust.
Froggen didn't have the package up. It was just a Valk over the wall, and then he has the exhaust so he can 1v1 people like Piglet at this stage of the game. Gets some help from Keith at the backside as well, who I think actually picked up the kill.
Yeah, I think Keith got the last hit on that one, but it's really interesting, actually. I don't see a lot of exhaust Corki, and the more I watch Froggen play with it, the more I'm like, this is a really smart idea. You can go for the 1v1 dives via package or exhaust, but you can also just not die to a Zed or Syndra by exhausting their all-ins. And I wonder if we're going to see more of this over time. Double exhaust, I think, is one of the most underrated summoners in League of Legends. Yeah. So many supports would like rather run Ignite. Matt's running it. I've seen Janna's run Ignite because they just want that damage, and I really think exhaust is underrated.
But the Ignite gets the kills in lane sometimes.
Yeah, that's useful.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it can be. It can be, to be fair.
I agree with double exhaust being super, super powerful. In this context, it's somewhat clutch, but it's not like there is a Zed where the double exhaust would be super, super good. It almost feels like both people are just taking it because that fits what they want to do.
The Spiderling versus the Void spawn is great. Hard's like sitting there hitting this rat portal, and like Lourlo's gaining gold as Spiderling's dying.
Yeah.
But it works out. Hard doing quite well, 0-0 and 6. He's, I guess, the betrayer from MI6. Spoilers to GoldenEye. But Hard.
Boo.
Yeah, I could have been delivered better, I'm sorry. 9-8 in kills, though. Liquid and Echo Fox, 200 gold apart at 34 minutes. Super, super close game. And we'll see what comes up next.
It is. It's great. This is what we were expecting, actually, as far as a close game between Echo Fox and Team Liquid, and it's actually happening. I think it's a huge boon for Echo Fox. These guys are good.
Yeah, of course.
And they're playing this really heavy tank composition, and it looks like now there's a lot of fog of war on the map. I'm hoping that Echo Fox looks for a force, and they really just need to be able to kill FeniX or Piglet, because if they do that, then their tankiness will be too much to take over. And on the same side, if Team Liquid can get a pick on a Froggen or a Keith, the fight's over on that side as well.
Absolutely true. And Lourlo, 5-2-2, has certainly been just a hellion diving into the back line and really hurting things there. Matt trying to defend a blue buff. It's pretty hard to do. Okay, Smite by Hard to make sure it goes over to him and not anyone on Liquid Cocoon on a map, but this team has to run away. They're actually missing a fair bit of cooldowns and positioning here. Good shield by Phreak. He's been really on point with those Braum shields. It's deceptively hard to do perfectly with those. For whatever reason, I see so many Braums miss that, and Big has actually been, I think, perfect with Unbreakable so far this game.
And there's been a lot of stuff he's needed to block, especially with the Gragas ult being such a key initiation tool. As long as he's not caught in the flash body slam, and even if he is, if Dardoch waits on his ult at all, he can get the shield up.
I've been a pretty large fan of Big's play so far. He's been great. You can see the Echo Fox trying to keep the push going forward. This does feel like the team with the momentum. They've got 3 dragons. Guess what? Number 4 comes up in like 30 seconds right now. So there's a lot to keep Echo Fox to want these waves to be pushed in. But right now, Lourlo is splitting in the bot lane up against what I believe is drop portal, but he's getting the wave pushed in anyway. So that's working well for the Liquid top laner here. Pushing that right-hand side of the map. Looks like Hard will be sent over to split against that. His own portal goes down, so these waves can be managed, and then back they'll go.
And the way these fights are going a lot of the time is tanks versus the damage dealers. This game will really swing if one of the damage dealers can get picked off by an assassination or a package or something like that. So we have to be very cognizant of the positioning leading into these fights and whether or not Dardoch can catch a Keith or Froggen, or whether Hard can actually catch FeniX with a nice cocoon, because there's no cleanses on the side. There's actually not even a QSS on an Ezreal yet, and no Mikhail. So a catch goes so far if they're able to get something solid.
And we'll see that's going to happen here. Interesting choice by Matt. He went for Ruby Sightstone instead of going for Eye of the Equinox. That's so much more common on supports, but looks like he wanted the item active cooldown reduction to make Righteous Glory up more often. So interesting build choice by Matt. We didn't talk about that yet, but I think it's really cool. Righteous Glory here on the Alistar to help those engages come through. 3 tank team, even more ways to come in now. Echo Fox still happy to mostly play peeling for their double AD carry. And notice, by the way, Froggen is sitting on 70% crit chance right now. Like, this guy does a lot of damage just auto-attacking on this Corki. It's definitely a champion you have to be afraid of here on this Echo Fox side. It's going to be a lot of damage here. Not to mention all the damage that, of course, is going to come out of this Lucian.
And they're really poking back and forth for pole position in this dragon. Hard has been around the side of the team, was looking for a pick there that may not be followed up. The more poke they can land, the better. Even though Ezreal and Syndra have been near, they don't want to get into Nautilus so it's really not good poke. And they start the dragon. This is going to be the fight.
Here's the Dragon Blitz. Lourlo's the one on the front line trying to keep the team back. Dardoch wants this one. Here comes the ulti across. Fissure comes in. There's Matt on the front lines. Great block again by Big, refusing to let ultis go past him. KFO knocked up, dropping right back down to the ground. Now Lourlo taking plenty of damage. Matt's ulti is gone. This could be the re-engage Echo Fox swap, but first Lourlo comes in on a KFO. A lot of damage. Out goes the Nautilus, but Dardoch does go down. That kill goes over to Froggen. A second kill for Keith, and they've knocked down the second tank of the lineup. It's now only Lourlo who is tanky on the squad. Liquid have to run away just barely. Echo Fox's tanks stay alive, and they will get dragon number 4 now.
Woo. Old school team fighting right there. Frontline tanks just outlasting people sometimes. Matt's Alistar ultimate was great for the 7 seconds it was active, and then it wore off, and they were still fighting. These fights are so incredibly long, and Echo Fox is just outlasting with the sustained damage we talk about. Double marksman Corki and Lucian is more sustained damage than Blue Ezreal and the Syndra. They win that fight, now they turn for Baron.
Well, a chunk comes in. Lourlo and Piglet want to stop this attempt. Oh, big damage. Hard gets the spite, and here's the ensuing battle. Piglet dangerously low thanks to KFO, who just sits in the front line, absorbing skill shots. Big stun from FeniX. More slows come in. KFO gets the shield, and he will still drop down to FeniX, but a trade back. Keith gets revenge on Lourlo. A 1-for-1. Liquid doesn't get too much out of this. Echo Fox got the trade, they got the Baron, they got out.
Yeah, and big moves across the board. They have also kind of shown that they have a slight edge in these incredibly chaotic team fights, and the Baron stats could push them over the edge. We're going to watch this Baron tango at the end here, and Lourlo and Piglet are looking pretty strong, and it's a very aggressive move out of KFO to go for Piglet, whereas he doesn't see FeniX, and this is another example. Lourlo is distracting everyone, so KFO has to take the free hits of Piglet and FeniX. Those are the 2 squishies that are going to be killing him, even if we're seeing a 5v5 team fight. The damage that was hitting KFO was 100% of what Team Liquid could offer, and it makes the 1-for-1 trade happen on the backside. Yeah,
I really like how KFO played that fight. Halfway through, he just starts walking back and forth, hoping to dodge skill shots, knowing he's going to get hit anyway, and if he dodges an Ezreal Q, most of that damage goes out. Tanked long enough to make that whole fight go wonderfully, and Echo Fox now holding a reasonable gold lead right now, 2,500, now wearing a Baron buff up against Liquid. This could be Echo Fox continuing that winning streak. It's of course very close to Liquid can pull this back. It's just been very difficult for them to find a foothold in fights.
Yeah, it really has been. They haven't been able to get any picks. They haven't been able to. Aside from that one fight in the top lane 20 minutes ago where Lourlo soloed Keith, like that's the type of fight they need to be able to have, but they need to have someone follow him and actually get Keith or Froggen out early on in one of these fights, because it's becoming clear here that KFO, Hard, and Big are just a stronger tank line than the Lourlo, Dardoch, and Matt, which is 2 very similar compositions, which is why we're seeing such brawly team fights.
Hard wants to delay this, and he will give blue over to Froggen's Corki. He's gonna feel good about that one. Void Staff now done, which is the correct penetration item, by the way, on Corki. I've seen people go Last Whisper. That's not correct. You do well more than half magic damage on Corki. Void Staff is the pickup. Also going towards this Maw of Malmortius. You see Keith already has one. Froggen's getting one because, again, I mean, he had Hextrigger for a long time, but again, Syndra is the reason these picks would happen, and now all of Echo Fox are tanks or marksmen wearing a Hextrigger or Maw. That whole team is able to survive Syndra in some way, and you're seeing these picks are not happening.
But at the same time, if FeniX lands a good amount of AoE or uses an ultimate early in a fight, which is actually what I think he should be doing in this team, just to spray a group stun with his E, he's still going to get a lot of damage out.
Yeah.
That's the way you turn Syndra into like a late game team fighting mage.
Yeah, you basically move people from range.
That's what it feels like.
Yep.
Because the fight's going to be long enough that that setup is okay. You can have
Yeah.
like 5 or 6, you know, he just have 3 or 4 orbs down from Q spam,
Yeah.
ult someone, and then just woo, 7 orbs into the other team with stuns.
Yep. Definitely can be very scary, so Echo Fox needs to watch out for some of what FeniX can do. Fox take a slow road around the map, actually. They couldn't knock down top lane tier 2. They try for mid, but Keith runs into an Ezreal Mystic Shot and loses a third of his health from a single spell that has a 2-second cooldown.
Yeah.
Keith, beware.
Very much so.
And look at that, Liquid right back on the aggression. They are never saying die here. They're happy to keep playing aggressively. Matt on the front lines, Lourlo and Dardoch right beside him. And here comes the next attempt for a push. 44 minutes in, almost here. Liquid right on the doorstep of mid lane tier 2. Ooh, a stun on a Froggen.
Yeah, very hard to actually push down that turret, though. They're just kind of getting the map position so they can start getting wards in the Dragon area, because that Dragon stack is building up. Unless they really think they can get more work done, since they did have an Elise back in base, but really, I think they should just pull back to get some vision control in the Dragon area.
Because it's in 1 minute and 35 seconds. That would be Dragon 5 for Echo Fox.
And we really haven't touched on it that much, but the Dragon was changed. Buffs 2 and 4 are different on this patch. Dragon 2 gives you a true damage burn, or not, it's a magic damage burn on turrets, and Dragon 4 makes turrets do less damage to you, 20% so.
Yeah.
If you get the 5th Dragon, as well as getting Aspect in the Dragon, it now doubles these new buffs.
Right.
So you'd be taking 40% reduced damage from turrets, which is really giving
A
you
lot.
the ability to sit in a turret and really just tank it because you have Aspect of the Dragon.
And the pushing continues here as Banner of Command was picked up for Hard. We're at full build already for KFO. Full build for Elise now includes Banner of Command here. And the Frozen Heart will finally be coming in for Big. There's really only one attack speed focused champion, and even then it's kind of nebulous there for Piglet's Ezreal, but Frozen Heart will still be the next pickup for Big, who of course has fully stacked that Strength of the Ages a long, long time ago. You're seeing more than 4,000 health on KFO now. That shield is actually worth 800 points on an 18-second cooldown.
Yeah, and the big thing about that actually is he has 350 armor as well, so the effective health of that shield is over 2,000 just from physical damage.
Yeah. Thank you for Ezreal. There is a Lord Dominic's regards.
Yeah. Surad Portal, also the best item in the game if you're just looking for straight resistances, or tied for the best. 120, you get 60 armor and 60 match resist.
Yeah, same as GA, right?
I think GA is that. It might be a little bit lower.
Oh, you said tied first. What's the other one?
It would be GA this time.
Okay.
Got a fact check.
It's okay. Did you know? GA,
No,
I think, has the same stat.
I'm not, I didn't. Anyway,
Well, here we go.
Dragon number 5 is huge.
Dragon
right
5, they're rushing it down. Poppy tries to knock the team away. Lourlo trying to make that happen. And the smite comes in. Dardoch does get it. So the fight continues now with the Dragon, with those stats there. Dardoch at the front line, Hard on the wings as well. A knockback doesn't do much for Keith. KFO still in the front as well. The marksmen are untouched. It's Liquid who are running away, but there's not a lot of CC left for Echo Fox. No ulti came through for KFO. He never wanted to set up the fight, but it does mean that Fox can just run up the map down the mid lane right now. However, Liquid will easily recall in time.
My God, that steal from Dardoch is potentially game saving, because they didn't lose anyone and they can loop all the way back around and actually make it to the defense of this turret. Oh man, that could stall this game out until the next Dragon, because really the way Echo Fox's team and the closeness of this game, unless someone makes a huge mistake, we're waiting for that Dragon 5 for a climactic fight.
Well, that's the thing is, you mentioned that the Nautilus ulti is maybe better for this game than a Malphite ult, but it is so much slower. That Team Liquid can easily walk away, set the front line up, toss a Gragas ulti anyway, and just say, no, you're not getting this pick off. So yeah, Echo Fox don't have that many great engage tools, and honestly, from what we've seen, neither do Liquid. Right?
Yeah.
They've not really been able to get at this point now. Keith would survive Poppy's damage.
So where is the Gragas here? Just right in the middle of the pit. It's not even really a steal. He knocked away Hard early on, so Hard couldn't get in for the steal.
Yeah, not in time.
Team Liquid were the initiators of that Dragon. It was the smart call. My mistake, it was not a steal whatsoever.
But a secure and
a very important
one.
smite secure for Dardoch.
Yes. We actually saw Lourlo try to channel a full Poppy ult as well, but got nicked by Braum's Glacial Fissure while still channeling. So he was spinning and go, what? I got tripped up by some ice and dropped the hammer. So sadly could not actually drop the hammer, and that would have knocked a lot of Echo Fox away. Froggen carrying the package, and that will coincide with his Baron being up right now. We'll see if that gets used. Of course, exposing your backline to Syndra and Gragas, never a good thing, which means setting up Baron baits is quite hard, and in fact, Liquid right now hold the ward control over Baron. So Echo Fox have a lot of work to do if they want to get in on that.
Yeah, but it's not like Team Liquid can kill Baron super quick either. This is such a strange game. Like, it could go... I'm thinking about this one. It could go really, really late.
Yeah.
There's...
80 minutes to dream?
Not that late, but I hope.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call like the 5th Dragon. I don't even know if we're gonna see a team with 10th Baron. Yeah, exactly. Like, how many times can Team Liquid fight back through more and more Dragon takes to make Echo Fox make an overcommit play? Because they just don't really have the tools to create the right type of flanks. It's not like they have a Lissandra who can teleport in and just blow up an AD carry. They have a Nautilus who can teleport in and then slowly swing his anchor to root someone, and then they will walk away.
Yep.
So, Infinity Edge has been completed. I'm waiting for the guys to hit 6 items as well, because sometimes those are big power spikes. Keith hitting Infinity Edge is huge from an AD carry, multiplicative damage.
Oh yeah. He actually has no lifesteal though, which can make this tricky. If he ever takes a chunk, he can't easily stay in the fight without Red Elixir, which he'll probably get next time he's back in base, but that's actually a stat he is missing.
Yeah, and as fun as the Rod Portal has been to talk about this game, those things should be Thornmails if you're looking at an AD carry that doesn't have lifesteal. All he can hit is Thornmail tanks.
True.
He will actually negate his own damage.
Yeah.
Even with the Wrath Elixir, I think.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely right about that. Thornmail vastly out-damages lifesteal items by mid to late game. The thing is, and the Rod Portals being mid lane I think is really weird because that's where the teams are standing anyway. It's them being on the side lanes. It's them having like a TP split push without it being a TP split pusher, right? It's them building a wave that's pushing that must be answered where the champions normally aren't. And you're seeing KFO walk in the top lane, putting the portal down, I believe, right now, and then at some point rejoining the team. So right now he's going to clear this up. Of course, the passive has an internal cooldown per target. He wants to spread that damage as much as he can. There is extra damage on that rooting auto attack, but look at this Echo Fox. They've gotten enough control. They pushed in mid, they pushed in top, and now Hard and Keith are just soloing, or doing, I should say, Dragon, the Baron. I keep misspeaking, but this is going to be Baron going down, and look at that, a clean secure. Liquid didn't even know it was coming.
And Liquid wasn't even pushed off of that. They had someone down bottom lane to deal with the minion wave, but just a big lapse. They have the blue trinkets to keep vision control. They just take bad recall timings, and I mean, props to Echo Fox for going for that with the damage that Keith had. Doesn't matter if he can't lifesteal Baron, he can certainly kill Baron.
Yeah.
Elise kills are super fast as well. Just big mistake by Team Liquid to give up an uncontested Baron in a 5v5 when no one died.
Absolutely true. A couple item switches come through here. You're seeing Frozen Hearts, 3 of them now have just joined the Echo Fox inventory. Cooldown reduction, of course, a very important stat for all these champions here. We just saw Keith sub out his cooldown boots for attack speed boots. I'm curious on the math of that, but it does give him way more teamfight damage. 30% attack speed is a good stat to have, absolutely. Still no lifesteal on the build, but that's fine.
30% CDR. Doesn't actually have the Elixir of Wrath right now, so actually no lifesteal.
But he's sitting on 800 gold right now, so Keith can just buy it. And you pretty much can't earn less than 500 gold every 3 minutes at this point in the game anyway.
But we're 40 seconds from the Dragon, and the setup actually isn't there for Echo Fox, despite them having the Baron. And I don't think Keith actually has time to go back and buy the Elixir before the Dragon fight. So that is irrelevant that he has the 800 gold in his pocket right now.
If you do it right now, Empowered Recall would allow him to get back into base and push back forward, but he's not going to do it. Dragon in 20 seconds now. Mid lane is pushed up. Of course, they have Baron. Their minions are much better. Drop portals are not. 18 seconds, 17. It's still ticking down. Dragon's going to be up, and Echo Fox are there first.
All right, Echo Fox was smart there. They used the Baron-empowered minion threat in the mid lane to think that they were going to trade an inhibitor for the Dragon right there, and that gives them position to get wards in the Dragon pit. But it also doesn't mean Yeah, this means they're going to have to fight at Dragon or give it up because both teams can kill it so quickly.
Yeah.
51 minutes, here we go again.
When you've got Baron buff, you can't go for a standstill, so Froggen tries to push in mid, that has to rejoin the team as Liquid are sticking on the Dragon right here. This is the fight to watch for. Baron buff is still on for another minute there, down to 3,000 health. Hard actually can't find a repel in, and yet again, Dardoch gets the Dragon. The fight comes in afterwards. Matt is low on health, walking away though. Ulti had been burned. Echo Fox get nothing for that Dragon.
Yes, they're trying to get something back. These are the slow, normal recalls for Team Liquid. They have Baron and Power Minis they can try and push on mid. Maybe they can crack an inhibitor open. They didn't get the 5th Dragon, but they can probably get it open.
Piglet sent Ezreal top lane to crush the minion wave, but now mid lane is under fire. That inhib turret will likely die, but they have to run away. Oh, Hard getting caught up by Lourlo. Look at the damage, and yes, they pick off Elise. They trade back on the mat. It's a 1-for-1. The fight continues now, and it's Lourlo in the top side getting caught out, but Keith is safe to deal damage, as is Froggen, is hitting from the back line. Good flash dodges the anchor toss, but still Lourlo holding up in front. KFO running out of health, stunned against the wall, has to flash to stay alive. Piglet also untouched, and they're still gonna walk away safely. 1-for-1 support for jungler. Even the turret, I believe, stayed alive.
The amount of skill shots these tanks are absorbing is too damn high. That's why this game is 53 minutes in. KFO is tanking everything. Big throws up his Braum shield. Piglet just can't land a priority Q on anyone he wants to, even if he arcane shifts to get in position for it. Hard was caught out in base. Matt again died once his ultimate had expired, and the game will definitely continue.
Yes, it will. And look at this, they flash right away from the threat of Dardoch.
Yeah, well, that's the way the game ends. If you pick off a squishy, you can win the game because these tanks are just there to stop you from actually getting to the squishies. Hard is down, so Team Liquid looks to go in far, but now it's just a 4v4. And it's pretty aggressive. The death timers are over 70 seconds long at this point, so if they can actually kill someone, then the game could end. Lourlo flashes away, and watch Piglet here. He sees a play on the key, dashes around, Blade of the Rune kicks him, but then Big walks right in front of him for those Qs, and the minions would probably block a little bit as well.
Yeah. I wonder what would happen if he actually flashed auto attack twice. Like, theoretically, Piglet might have killed Keith in the back. I mean, super risky, right? But he makes that pick. The game might just end in Liquid's favor.
Yeah.
If he screws it up, it ends in Echo Fox's favor, of course.
Problem with him trying to auto attack the 6-item Keith is he auto attacks him back. He's probably going to do a lot better.
Sure.
Ezreal does not opt into those types of fights.
Keith subs out one last item. Hex Drinker is now out. It's now a Mercurial Scimitar, I believe, was the pickup if I saw it properly. So it does have some life still to add to the inventory, but misses out on that huge shield. So in a burst case is much, much less durable against FeniX. In a longer team fight, will be in a better spot. We'll see which ones happen here for Keith, who's now missing Flash. Of course, one of the problems with selling your old Boots of Lucidity is those had Summoner Spell cooldown on them. So the Flash and Heal now longer cooldowns than they were before. Picked in for the attack speed. Ninja Tabby with Captain Boots is also picked up for KFO, so once gold efficiency is no longer a thing, he says, okay, I'm gonna really just not die against physical damage. I will survive Piglet.
Well, he's just trying to
buy the team run faster.
Buy the most expensive items possible, pretty much. Is what you're wanting to do in a game that's this late. His Sunfire Cape was sold a while ago for the Frozen Heart.
Wow. Matt bought Talisman of Ascension as well. I mean, that has no combat stats on it. It has 10 CDR, that's it. But now Right Glory and Talisman and Ruby Sightstone, a lot of active usages for movement speed.
I can't agree with that Talisman buy. The cooldown reduction is nice, but based on the length of these fights, he needs staying power outside of movement. But then
it's the move speed.
Talisman's in it, and if they can kill Hard, it's worth it.
He's running, he gets stunned up. This is not good for Elise, who does die. The FeniX combo comes in, the kill's picked off. Liquid in a 5 versus 4 for 70 seconds now.
Was the Talisman there?
No.
Did it? Or was it Hard? That was a nice pickoff by Team Liquid regardless in 60 seconds without one takes, but Piglet gets chunked down.
Ooh, a lot of damage. Piglet has popped now his Hex Drinker shield. He can lifesteal it back with his Blade of the Rune King, and the team is letting him get the attacks in to get the health back up there. Mid lane tier 2 under 5. That's going to be seeded by Echo Fox. You have to give that one away. And the siege continues now. 20 seconds to the next menu wave. It's pretty far away right now. All Liquid can do is poke. And there was no reason to take free damage. Nice job by Big. Sees the ulti coming in, puts the shield up, blocks it away. 30 seconds now on the Elise. That might be enough time to knock the inhibitor down itself. Lourlo in the front lines.
Piglet is pretty low on mana, but if they actually get caught in the teamfight here, Echo Fox could lose the game. They should probably back away.
In the front, will it go on him? The flash combo comes in, and Dardoch, he gets Froggen, and Froggen's gone. They catch back in a minute. Oh no, they got Piglet, and now Dardoch is low, and Keith is still alive. He's He's doing so much damage. It's a double kill. It's another one picked up. That's everybody from Team Liquid just dropping. Oh my God, Keith is a superhero.
70-second death timers on the other side right there. They thought it was so good when they picked off Froggen, but they forgot about Keith. We talked about his Infinity Edge finish, his Berserker's Greaves to get more damage.
Yep.
And oh my God, he got in the back line, and he is the one who assassinated Piglet and FeniX after I think KFO set that up with an ultimate. 57 minutes in, without getting 5 dragons, we may finally be seeing the end of this game.
They might just have enough. There's actually 2 drop portals up, so those minions can actually tank turrets when they get up towards the Nexus. Echo Fox pushing in. They're going to have the inhibitor at least for sure, and now they've got to get in for the next 20 seconds before the respawn timers come in. Will they be able to kill off the base? KFO tanks the first one. Keith continues to put the damage on. 4 dragons means he does not take as much damage from these turrets. There's turret number 1. The respawn timer's down to 10 seconds. They're getting turret number 2, now the Nexus, and yes, they're going to do it in just under an hour. Echo Fox, 3 wins in a row. They've taken down Liquid.
Wow. 500 CS on 4 different people in this game. Over 100,000 gold on both sides, but still only 1 victor. And that is Echo Fox.
That is Echo Fox. Let's take a look at the body count now for these guys. They took down Energy last week. They took down Liquid just now. They play against Impulse tomorrow, who should be another team that should line up in their crosshairs here. Is there any doubt that Echo Fox are a playoff caliber team? They just beat 2 of the playoff teams.
This is exactly what we were talking about at the start of the day with Echo Fox and their ability to surge. Liquid now has to face Immortals tomorrow, and Echo Fox plays Impulse. If those games both play, suddenly Echo Fox is tied for a playoff spot. Just like that, after getting Froggen and KFO back in the team.
And of course, they're 1-1 with Liquid now in the head-to-head. 1-1 with Energy as well, so those tiebreakers have been held on to. The way the schedule goes, yeah, we might see Echo Fox in that running right there for that top 6, for that road into the playoffs, and then how much more can they do? Finally, next week they play TSM and Immortals. Now the tests get tougher.
That test will be real tough.
But that's the thing, right? Echo Fox. Okay, great. You got the lineups back together. You beat Renegades. Okay, whatever. Okay, well you beat Energy. Okay, we're listening. You beat Liquid. Okay, we're really listening. And then you play TSM Immortals next week. How those games go is pretty important. Before I was like, this is the important week for Echo Fox, right? Liquid's right above you. Impulse right below you. Cool. That's your battle. What if you beat teams in the top 2?
Right, then you don't know where the ceiling is, and that's where Echo Fox will continue to test themselves. This game as well, that's a tough loss for